think I am live. Um, I've lost my StreamYard. Oh no. Oh gosh. All right, here I am. I lost my video for a second. So, welcome to Getting Real. I'm your host, Monique Hom. And on this show, we talk about, the real, the raw, the authentic stories around real estate investing. It's not just about the cash and prizes and keys and doors, but about some of the real challenges, the real things that we're all dealing with. And today's episode was inspired by a podcast that I recently listened to, a Mel Robbins podcast. So in this Mel Robbins show, she was talking about one of the most important one of the most important things for our happiness, which is relationships. There's a Harvard study, or they did this it's the longest study of happiness. I think it's been going over 80 years. And they one of the things that they discovered is that the deeper your relationships, the more likely you are to be happy. And they can look at somebody at age 50 and see the level of his or her relationships, and they can say, at 80 years old, this person is way more likely to be healthy, to be happy, they can tell that by the depth of their relationships. And one of the things that was really interesting that you said in the show is that, some of the most valuable relationships you have, some of your closest friends, your future business partners, etc., are people that maybe you haven't even met yet. And to lean into relationships. So, why am I talking about this with regards to real estate? Well, the reason I wanted to bring this up is because real estate investing is truly a relationship business. And you need to have these relationships, and many of them are relationships that you are going to be developing now as you go to um, different trainings or real estate investor association meetings, and uh, whatever you're doing, even as you're on different Facebook groups and everything else. Then your as you go through these, as you're moving, you're going to be meeting people that will be future business partners or team members or investors. And how do you assess those relationships? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. How I learned from a very brilliant woman, Beth Clifford, this process called the 3 C's. So I want to talk about the 3 C's, which is a really good way to assess um, the, if this is a relationship, if you want to move forward with a relationship. And then I will share one bonus, a bonus like learning around that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. And so with regards to the 3 C's. So the first, which is such a brilliant way of assessing whether or not a relationship um, is worth pursuing, whether or not you want to, whether or not it's worth like getting into a partnership with, having this person on your team. You want to do that. So um, the first C in the 3 C's is character. And character is how of integrity somebody is, if they're, what their values are, um, and if it is a match for you. So there are a few ways of thinking about this, and I'm going to share, a couple stories of partners, one who turned out to be a really great partner and one who turned out to be a really terrible partner. And so the character piece. So I had a partner. We partnered with this one guy, Chris, who, well, in our apartment buildings in Albuquerque, we partnered with him, and he was he is such a good person, like super high character, just honest, just shows up, does one of the things that when we met him, he was in a particular apartment deal with a bad partner, and he took over that deal without being remunerated, to make things right for himself and the other investors. And he spent many hours, at a lot of work, um, just took charge. He was an airplane pilot. He'd been in the military. He is a really good man, high quality, high character. And partnering with him, I talked last time about the one of our deals that was super challenging in the war zone. But he's the kind of guy you want, and if you're in a war, he's the one you want by your side, and really good character. um and when you're thinking about who you want, as a with their character, you want to look at, how do they show up, how do they treat other people, not just people they think are important, but how do they treat everybody? How are they honest? How are they around their other relationships? There's another partner that, I'll go into that story some other time, but not of integrity at all. And I should have known, because I went to visit um, one of her properties with her, and she said, "Okay, hold on. This employee here, I'm upset with her about something. She doesn't know I'm the owner. She thinks I'm just the property manager working for the owner. I'm going to point you out and say you're the owner. She's making me look bad, so I can yell at her." And um, you know, anyway, I thought that was weird, but I went with it. But she was being dishonest to her employee. So, it's just like, and should I been surprised that she was dishonest with me later? Probably not, because I think Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them, right, the first time. So character. You want to be with people that are high character, that are honest, that have high integrity, um, and that have a match with you in terms of your values, right? So if what you value, um, and character traits. And also, one last part about character, I think it's helpful too, when you look at your character. Actually, we'll talk about that later in the capacity. So that's the first one: character, integrity. um, the second is commitment. Commitment is in two ways. So one is, how committed are they to this project that you have together, that you're going to do, whatever you're needing them for, whether you are hiring them or you are going to be partnering with them in something. Even I remember talking to someone, they said, "This is good even if you're dating." I was like, I know, right? If you're dating somebody, you want to have the same level of commitment, right? If you're all in and you're there and you want to be monogamous, and they're like still dating around, that's not good. They don't have the same level of commitment. If you're in a real estate deal, right, and you have somebody and they are going to be, let's say, a contractor, it's going to be working for you, you want them fully committed. You want them not to have 10 other jobs and not show up for your thing when you need them. Same with a partner. You want them to be as committed and to do the work and to do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it. All right. So that is the commitment to the project, to whatever, or to the relationship. Also, you want them to be committed to your shared mission, vision, and values. For me, it is important that we leave a property and the community better than we found it. Um, really, I really try to do that. But if you're working with somebody who is just about taking every dollar out of a deal, it's like, okay to be a slumlord, that is not a match for that value and the commitment, right? They have a different commitment. Their commitment is to making as much money as possible, regardless of who gets hurt, right? That would not be a match. I also do strive to have relationships for life. So I want to be able to partner with people and us to want to continue to work together because it's been such a great experience. And if you're working with somebody, and for me, somebody who's very transactional, who's more in the, oh, I'm just going to get everything I can right now, and we're just doing this, and I don't care. I just want to win, and it doesn't matter if you win or not, because this is a one and done kind of thing. That's also not a match in terms of commitment, right? So when you're thinking, oh, let's work together for 30 years, you're going to show up really differently than I'm just getting this done right now, and that's it. So it's really important when you are looking to partner or work with somebody that they have the same level of commitment to the project and to your mission, your vision, and your values. And the last C has to do with capacity. So that is their ability to do the job. And these are truly in order of importance. So the character, you can't change. Right? The capacity, people can grow in their capacity. But and if somebody has super strong character and super strong commitment, and they have the capacity, the intelligence, the capacity to learn and to grow into what they need to do, and you can partner with them. One of the things that I learned also from Beth Clifford was that she had this quote, like, work with the best. They won't cost you money, they'll make you money. Work with the best. So when dealing with the capacity side, it is helpful to, I think, go with somebody who has the highest capacity you can possibly find to do what you need to do, as opposed to training somebody else. So it kind of depends on what you're trying to do, but that capacity part is important, and a good shortcut is to work and find people that are at the top of their game. And A players tend to play with other A players, so people at the top of their game can connect you to other people at the top of their game, and that's the level you're going to be playing at. So you want to, I like to work with people that are at the highest possible capacity whenever possible. So you want, regardless though, you want the person, whatever the job is, you want them to be able to do it. And the other piece of this capacity is you want people who have a capacity that's a match to yours. So you don't necessarily want to be partnering with somebody who has the can do the exact same thing you do in the exact same way and they're exactly like you, it's great to actually partner with people who are great where you're not great. And because we all have our own zones of genius. So stay in your lane, in your zone of genius, and partner with people who are in theirs. Now that's the ideal with capacity. You know where you are and what you bring to the table, and then what is missing in terms of your own capacity, and find people that can fill that gap and fill that hole. And so that is a really smart way to create and partner with people that have what you might be lacking, and then you really are creating an incredible a team and a winning team, and a team that's likely to be successful. Uh, and the thing about capacity, so this is a mistake that I made, and when we're talking about working with the best, they won't cost you money, they'll make you money. I thought that, this is a numbers game, and so we want to save money above everything else. And when you're talking about the best, they're not necessarily the most expensive. The best is not the most expensive, but they are rarely the cheapest. And I have made the mistake of hiring people just based on price, thinking that that would be wise. And it ended up being a very expensive mistake because they I remember I hired this contractor and he was a lot cheaper on paper than the others, but he didn't really know what he was doing. He wasted so much time trying to figure things out, messed things up a lot, and we ended up having to fire him and go with the first guy we talked to, who was a lot more expensive, but who knew what he was doing. And then we had to pay him to not only do the work, but fix what the cheap guy did. So it was very expensive. So when you are dealing with the capacity piece, make sure that the person that you are working with knows what they're doing. Don't just get attracted by the price tag. So those are the 3 C's: character, commitment, capacity. When you have all 3, wow, you have a winning person. And the important thing another important thing to remember is that you should have the 3 C's yourself. All right. So it's important that you show up with character. All right. It's important that you commit and are committed as you need to be. And it's important that you develop your capacity so you can do what you need to do and do well. You want to be the team member that others want, that you would want. So that's, you look for the 3 C's and you embody the 3 C's to create really good and strong relationships. And not doing that either way is a mistake. And yeah, one last piece of advice, of bonus advice that I learned from one of my mentors, Cal Wilson, who I try to do this, but I've not done this sometimes to my detriment. So the other thing is he says, fail small. Fail small. And how I look at that in terms of the relationship side is that do a little test with someone and see how they do. See how you do together. Going back to the romantic relationship one, date before you marry. Go on a coffee date first, right? A little small, 15 minutes. By the end of the coffee date, if you then want to have dinner, or you want to do something else that's a little more involved, but have a small small little bite. Hire the contractor to do a little project before you hire them to do the whole thing. We're do a so we're working on this project and looking to partner with the builders. I can't talk too much about the project yet, but it's in process. And one of the things that we're doing is we're doing phases. And so there's this initial phase that we're going to do with the builders that works. Then we go into another phase that works, another phase. So if at any point we find this isn't working the way we thought, this isn't, then we're not too far in, and we can test. And you fail small. If it's not gonna work out, it's not too painful to find that out. You can course correct. If you throw everything in and then it doesn't work, it's a much harder. It's much harder to deal with. So that's the bonus lesson around these three C's. Find out, assess at the beginning. What's the character before you even go in, right? You want to look at what's their character, what's their commitment, what's their capacity. Then you do a little test to check and see if your hypothesis was correct, to check and see if they did have the character, commitment, capacity. And then beyond that, okay, that worked. Let's go a little bit more. And you do it this way. So that is as the lessons that I've learned that have been most helpful around creating relationships. And as you go, as Mel Robbins was, one of the main takeaway from that episode was lean in, go to this conference, and you see something, like, start talking to people. Don't be shy. Don't hold back. Go forward, get off your phone, meet people from wherever. And it could not just at these real estate events. It could be somebody standing next to you at your kid's soccer game. It could be somebody that you meet in the line at the coffee shop or at the gym. Just talk to people. You never know where that next important person in your life is going to come from. But as you talk, right, and you start to go down that road and it looks like it might be something, then put on the three C's and then see if you can't do a little experiment where you can, if you're going to fail, it'll fail small, and see how that goes. So that is what I wanted to share with you today on Getting Real. I want to end with a Trinity. That is, I forgot to do this last time, but generally the Trinity, it's a brag, a gratitude, and a desire. And that's how I've ended all my podcasts. So I brag, that we have putting out an LOI on this project, a letter of intent. Super excited. And I love real estate. So I brag that. I'm grateful for my wonderful partners. Pretty much in everything I do, have partners. It's a relationship business, a team sport. I have not always had winners that I've partnered with, I've worked with, but the vast majority of the people that I have worked with in real estate have been incredible people that I'm so grateful to know and to have the pleasure and honor to work with. So I'm really grateful for them, and I desire that this project that I'm working on right now, I desire it's really wonderful. We had a team meeting earlier today, this morning, and the team is so great. So great. Definitely the three C's were in high evidence. These amazing characters, really committed to this project, not just doing the
Mhm.
project, but doing it in a way that is sustainable and eco-friendly and transformative for um, the everybody involved, like really helping to create super magical place in a way that I'll tell more. I'll share more about it as I can, but it's like the commitment to that is really exciting, and the capacity, really great people. So so my desire is just that this vision that we have for this project comes forth, and I also desire that you find the perfect people for you as you grow, and so that's getting real, and I hope you join me next time for another episode. Bye.